Committee, we heard from one such individual who received a pardon from the governor but faced challenges. He told us, without a legal way to seal my pardoned conviction, pardons don't really help folks like him who have already served the time and are trying to move forward in their lives. Senate Bill 388 creates a mechanism by which pardon convictions are expunged from the record of the pardoned person. It also requires a district attorney to notify the victim of the pardon and the expungement. I believe this legislation is a positive step forward to give individuals the opportunity to move forward in their lives, and I urge an aye vote.
I would like to know how many people the governor pardons per year and what level of offenses they are. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Mr. Speaker, that the governor can choose to pardon whomever she likes. There's no category of crime in which pardons are limited. This governor has granted 5 pardons in her tenure as governor, and if you look over the last 30 years, it averages about 1 a year over the course of the governors of the last 30 years.
Further discussion?
I want to say that I appreciate the intent of this bill. My concern has to do with the fact that if an individual who is pardoned is later becomes the subject of a criminal investigation, it's virtually impossible for law enforcement to get an unsealed record, or a record that is sealed rather in the Secretary of State's office unsealed. And so what very well could happen is there's a system that's called the Interstate Identification Index, III, and somebody is convicted of a crime, fingerprints are sent to the FBI and they're entered in that system. So if an individual who has been pardoned is later the subject of an investigation, law enforcement may very well see on the III Interstate Identification Index that he or she has a prior conviction, but they won't be able to access those records. And for that reason, I'm a no.
And one of the problems is not only the conviction and the pardon, but the rules that are prohibiting the employers. In the case we heard was somebody was trying to become a gang mentor, help people get out of the gang life. The rules that prevent people from moving up without a pardon need to be looked at by the people who have those rules, and we need to balance that. And they should be able to look at a man or woman and say, that happened 10 years ago, this person has a clean record, we will hire them, but we will allow them to promote. And so we need to take a look at those rules as well, but I support this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Further discussion?
I wanted to go back to Senate Bill 1008 and ask, given your support for that bill, why haven't you granted more clemency petitions to release people who are serving decades-long Metro 11 sentences, which is something that you had the power to do without changing the law or going back to voters?
I have used my clemency and pardon tools very judiciously. I see these as extraordinary acts, and I use them under circumstances where particularly young people, but adults have made extraordinary changes and dedicated their lives to making their communities better.